Good morning, everybody. Welcome back into our Wednesday webinar series. I'm Garrett Anderson, the Marketing Director for Contract Furnishings Mart. Very exciting day. We are here in Gresham. We have Tyler Pan around. We are moving into an entirely new half of this building. We're adding 3,400 square feet of showroom, 6,600 square feet of warehouse on the other side of that wall. And so now we have our beautiful reps coming in to help us out and really fill this place in. So we're adding a bunch of space. We've been really happy with the growth of our Gresham store, very happy about that, so thank you for the business. So I wanted to definitely show you about that. We'll send you some more updates on how we're progressing and moving in and filling this space up. But if you haven't had an opportunity to check this place out yet, definitely make your way over here. I have a special guest with us today, Gregg Nelson, longtime friend of ours with TNA Supply. He has a really cool demo of a new product category, specifically this Raintree product, but it's within this umbrella of waterproof hardwood. And so it's really cool, unique. Obviously, you guys have seen the popularity of LVT. It has the waterproof characteristics, beautiful visuals. The only downside really has been the limitations with those visuals. You're going to see pattern repeats at a certain point. So what if I told you you could have all the waterproof characteristics, easy install, great price point of an LVT, with the natural beauty of a hardwood? And so that's what we're going to explore today. So, Gregg, thank you for joining us. Do want to talk a little bit about this category. You have a great demo that we'll get into, but why don't you just tell us about this product line specifically? How is it constructed, and how are we going to get these waterproof characteristics out of a hardwood?
So it's constructed very similar to an LVP in the sense, if you start from the backing, you do have a pad attached on this. When you get to the core of the product, which is very similar to LVP, it's a SPC core. So the SPC core is actually taking that core and it's actually compressing that core, getting the air bubbles out, and then they add limestone to the product. So it creates a very dense, very stable core. So from a standpoint of indentation resistance, your indentation resistance on this product will be excellent and actually better than a traditional hardwood. But what's key is on the surface of that product, it is no longer a picture. When you're selling LVP, you're selling a picture of wood, but what if you can get the real thing? And with this particular product, it's a 1.2 millimeter, and this is important, a sliced veneer. Being a sliced veneer, you get the actual natural beauty of hardwood.
By comparison, you're saying sliced versus a peeled veneer.
Yes.
Which might get you more yield, but you're cutting literally around the tree and peeling that wood apart. So you're getting a different grain structure. And the downside is wood has a memory, so it does kind of want to peel back. It might cup quicker or more easily than a sliced veneer, correct?
And that's correct. If you can imagine a potato and peeling around the potato, it remembers being round. And so there's a term in the wood industry called checking. So it's going to want to try and return to its natural state. But having a slice veneer like on the Raintree, you have a much more stable product. And actually, as Garrett mentioned, the beauty of the product, because you get the natural graining beauty of that wood.
So this has a lot of similarities in construction to an LVT, but instead of a vinyl image of a wood on top, you have that actual sliced piece of wood. So if all that is on there, how do we get away from the sensitivity that wood has to water?
Well, with this particular product, the wood itself is not waterproof, but it's encapsulated. So underneath and up above, water cannot get to the product, and therefore it's marketed as waterproof. And you can actually, even in your maintenance procedures on this, you can actually damp mop this product to clean it. So it is encapsulated, and it is a waterproof product. And as Garrett said, no board repeats itself. Everything is a random visual, and that's what creates the beauty of true wood.
Very interesting. Obviously, we're going to have to cut these pieces. So when they come out of the box, they're fully encapsulated. What about when we start making cuts around the perimeter to actually install it?
That's a great question, because actually you do open up that very edge around the perimeter. It'll always be on the outside near the wall. And so all we ask that you do is take silicone and you dab the edge around the perimeter of that room, and it reseals that edge, and it's completely waterproof and guaranteed by Raintree.
So even on the locking mechanism too?
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of locking mechanism is that?
Okay, the locking system on this is the Unilin locking system. So it's a compression fit, but it's one that most people will be very familiar with. It's one of the best locking systems in the industry today.
I'm going to show this bad boy off. So this is one of the full pieces.
Yes.
And another really cool aspect about the Raintree line in particular is that, 75% of all these boards are going to be 75 inches in length?
A minimum of 75%.
Minimum. Okay.
Yes.
So you could get an entire box of everything this length, not a bunch of shorts, little start pieces. Occasionally you will get a couple, but you're going to need those anyway.
Yes.
So look at this guy. We'll talk about this locking mechanism. It looks just like your LVT's does. And you have this pad attached on the back, right?
And you have pad attached.
So great because this is only exclusively a floating floor. So having that pad attached is nice to absorb some sound and really suppress that, right?
That's correct.
Okay. We still need to allow for some expansion and contraction,
Yes,
just
you
like
do.
any other floating floor?
You do, yeah. And it'll be very similar to LVP. Just allow a 1/4 inch around the perimeter of the room.
Are we still acclimating this?
This one, we ask that you get it to room temperature,
Okay.
but acclimation is not necessary. As long as you have it to room temperature, you should be good to go.
Okay. Well, let's dive into your demo, because I watched him do this morning, and I was a little bit scared of it. So you have a few tools here. You can just beat the crap out of this thing, right? And it actually still looks good and performs. So I'll let you do your thing.
So with this particular category, some of the questions that have come up were, how durable is it? And with the coronavirus and working from home, I decided to go ahead and put it to the test to see how much punishment would it take. And so this is a permanent magic marker. And I'm going to go ahead and since we have the camera on there, it's going to smile at you. We've got a little happy face. And as I've done this presentation, I've had basically feedback saying, Greg, you haven't let that thing dry long enough. So basically, to speed the process, I'll take a little bit of, this is, I stole my wife's fingernail polish remover, so this is acetone.
Sure you did.
And, and I'll go ahead and pour that on that stain. And to speed up the process, we're going to actually burn that stain into the product.
Now, I probably wouldn't recommend you do this at home, but I'm glad that you had the free time at home during a little quarantine to play around with this, because this is not something that I probably would have thought of doing.
So the thing about that is the surface on that product is extremely durable, but because of the SPC core, there's a greater variance in a hot, cold temperature. So even that's quite warm, you don't see any delamination on that floor. This is a little bit of a goof off, so I'm going to just take and
so you burned a stain into the wood, and then goof off is taking it off, but it's not taking off the finish.
Nope. It actually just taken the.
Because the way you were describing that to me earlier is, it's not a topical finish. You know, it's still aluminum oxide and urethane in that wear layer, but was it baked in, or it's really more encompassing or incorporated into the surface of that wood?
So what they've done with this particular product, it is a urethane aluminum oxide finish, but they had to create a proper balance. You can actually get too much aluminum oxide in where it actually clouds the product. So they have the proper balance of clarity to the product, so you see the true graining of the product, and as far as durability. And to prove that, I actually grabbed a hammer.
Oh, no.
And, how hard can you hit this? I mean, I can hit it pretty hard, which you're not going to want to do that to wood, but as you see, it doesn't do a whole lot to that product. Now, if I really gave it a whack, I can dent that product, but what's happening, you're hitting that SPC core, and it's only a 1.2 millimeter thickness on that wood, so there's really nowhere for that to go. So from an indentation resistance standpoint, extremely good, and it's going to perform better than hardwood. But better yet is people are probably going to be more concerned about scratch resistance. So I didn't know what it would take, so I actually took the back end of the hammer, we're going to go across the grain on the product. But as you can see, it's something you're not really going to want to do to wood. But as you look at that, it looks pretty good. Yeah. And that's that, they call it a ninja wear layer, but that's that combination of the urethane aluminum oxide. And I tell you, you take that and you clean it up, it looks like brand new. And again, would this be something that you would do, you know, in front of the customer? Probably not. but it's to show you that, hey, it is a little bit more durable than hardwood. It actually will perform better. And then the big thing is it's waterproof. And so now we're going into areas that we never went in before with hardwood. And so some of the jobs that are going out, the biggest one to date that I have is 4,000 feet, went through the entire home.
Oh, wow.
And
even
so
bathrooms?
Even in the bathrooms.
Wow.
But
yeah, because you normally have those concerns, especially in obviously the bathroom, perhaps the kitchen, mud rooms, laundry areas, that kind of thing. Anywhere you're bringing in additional moisture. So this is really nice. I know obviously people want to have the continuous look of a hard surface throughout the whole house, at least throughout that main
exactly,
floor.
yeah.
And now you can connect all those spaces and not
Absolutely.
have those water concerns.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And you know, I guess if you looked really close, you could probably find some indentations. But like you said, the wear layer on the top, the actual wood itself is thin, and it's supported by a really strong, dense backing. And so you might dent the wood a little bit, but you're not denting so far where you would have with just a fully engineered or solid hardwood floor. Yeah. Very, very cool. And this floor, the cleaner that you used is something that is available through CFM that you guys distribute. But it's basically a kind of a pH neutral, natural type cleaner. You don't need harsh chemicals to clean this. Not to say that they're really going to hurt this, but you don't need too much. And if you're somebody who prefers to damp mop, feel free to do so because you don't have those concerns. But otherwise, a lot of people are kind of leaning towards the little spray and wipe, regular vacuum, just kind of wipe up little spills and stuff as they come up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, let's take a look at this color line because it is very, very beautiful. This is the display for Raintree. And this is not the only product line in this category. This is probably the newer one, and it really has some unique features and benefits that are really, really cool. But we'll pull some of these out so you can actually see what they look like. And then we have a couple of the long planks here just to show how easily they go together. That Unilin locking system, these just connect super simply, connect on all four sides. So that is also what helps with creating that watertight, waterproof connection between these. So you're not getting any water to seep down in between the boards. And if you're using that silicone bead around all the cut pieces around your perimeter, then you're not getting it into the edges of that product as well. Is there anything else that we need to do as far as maintenance or installation that we need to consider before putting this in?
Really, Garrett, it's going to be so familiar to people because it's really just like installing LVP. Mm-hmm. But again, instead of a picture, it's real wood. It's real wood veneer.
Right. And are they all the same width of plank?
They are. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to be it's 75 inches long and then 7.5 inches wide. And if you compare that to regular wood, to get real wood at that length and that width, you're going to be paying at least $2 to $3 more per square foot than this product. And once this is on the floor, you don't know how thick it is, but it's absolutely beautiful on the floor.
I've heard some people that are specifically looking for something a little bit thinner so you don't have those big transition height variances.
Yes.
So that could be something to consider as well. Very, very beautiful line. Again, I love these visuals. Installation is super easy. Again, we're talking a lot of the same construction and installation and maintenance to an LVT, but you're getting an enhanced visual with no pattern repeats.
Yeah. And
you mentioned the price point too. It's really mixed in on that kind of higher end LVT line. So you're still spending less than your traditional hardwood, engineered hardwood, and getting kind of some enhanced characteristics.
Yes.
So definitely something to consider. I appreciate you taking the time and educating us a little bit about this. lighting your samples on fire. Again, don't try this at home. If you do get an opportunity, again, come check these out. Do we have them, this display at all of our locations now?
Not yet. A good portion of your locations, it's so new that we're trying to get them in as many places as you guys would want this product.
So call ahead, and yeah, Todd's in the back. He's like, yeah, just put 6 displays in every showroom. Where is this stocked?
This is stocked in Kent.
Okay.
And we stock every color. And
so great stock, great turnaround time, transition pieces as well.
Transition pieces as well, and also air vents. We actually have air vents available to you, as well as we're working on. Basically, there's something called Q-nose for this particular product, and that does beautiful on the stairs.
All right, I'll take your word for it. Okay, I think that's all we got today. Greg, again, thank you for coming out here.
Thank you, Garrett.
Check out the Gresham edition. We hope to see you soon. Have a great day, a great week, guys. Thanks.